Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Tonight's the final night of the all-in transportation wingless A-Class clash here at US 24 Speedway. Last night we maybe had the car good enough to be able to be in the A main. Was battling for the 4th spot with another driver and just got up on the tires on the infield, and just a mistake on my part. I just misjudged it right there and halfway spun us out and sent us back to like 9th. So that's where we ended up, but we made big gains on the car yesterday. I feel a lot better going into tonight about what we're going to do with the setup. We got a good draw for tonight. We'll be starting outside pole of the 8th heat, so probably the track will be widened out a little bit, and as long as I can keep it up there towards the front, I think it'll be good for us on points for tonight. Good heat race for us right there. Started second and battled with Grayson Springer on the bottom just a little bit there at the beginning. I was able to run the top good enough to clear him, and then I went down to the bottom on 3 and 4 and the top in 1 and 2. I ran the top for quite a while, but it didn't really seem like it had any moisture up there. It just seemed like it was marbly, crumbly stuff. I was able to keep better momentum up there, but it just felt like I wasn't driving off the corner like I needed to, so eventually I went back down to the bottom on both ends. The car still could have been a lot better. Like I said, it was lacking forward drive on the top. We could have done less stagger, and probably could have even pulled the right rear end and done a little more on my shocks if I had known that it was going to be as marbly as it was. I really kind of thought, with the way it looked earlier, that it might roll up some moisture into a cushion, but it just didn't have anything up there. That's going to set us up really good for this qualifier coming up right here. I think we'll be starting on the front row, if not on the pole, but somewhere way up there towards the front. They'll take top 2 straight to the A main, and then I think 3rd through 6th they're going to go to an LCQ. So hopefully we can keep it up there close to the front, and even if we drop back a spot or 2, we'll still be in the LCQ. But I'm going to do everything I can to keep it up front and see if we can drive off with this one. did it. We locked into the feature right there, finished second in that one. Just ripped the top for 20 laps. I was behind Steven Snyder, and he was definitely fast up there. Once I got the cushion tuned in and I really was running it how I should have been, I think I was a little faster than him, especially that second half of the race. In the beginning in 3 and 4, I kept on washing out of turn 4. Like, I'd follow the cushion all the way out to the wall. Eventually I figured out how far I had to drive it in to be able to turn it through the center and then launch straight off the corner instead of washing all the way out. So that definitely cut a lot of time down on the lap time, and I think that's one spot that I made a lot of improvement on the lap. My dad said we were both pretty far out from 3rd place, so I'm glad I didn't push the issue and try to win that one, because it just didn't make a lot of sense to risk going for something like that when we're both locked in. Even though I couldn't really tell where the 3rd place car was, I just kind of had a feeling that we were out far enough that it wouldn't matter. I'm not for sure where we'll be starting in this next race, but I think it'll be somewhere around 14, somewhere right around in there. Honestly, I'm just relieved that we've made it in the feature at this point. It's been a tough week for us, and things just haven't gone right, or I've made mistakes. So it feels good to actually lock it in tonight, and especially on the night that pays out good. I got off the track and I was idling back through the pits, and it seemed like the engine was idling kind of funny. I got it back to the trailer and it wouldn't turn the starter over. So I think something's wrong with the battery. We've been running these anti-gravity lithium-ion batteries, and I don't know what the problem is with them. We ran one for like the first half of last year and maybe the year before, and we just had all kinds of problems with them, and I don't really know what the problem is. We've got a few theories that maybe it's not taking a charge, maybe the rectifier's letting too much charge to the battery and it's not accepting it. We thought maybe we were overloading it last year. We had 2 fans on the car and an electric water pump. Well, you can see right here we went down to 1 fan and we put the mechanical water pump back on, but it's still, the battery has not stayed charged for us. So we just robbed the battery out of this car and put it on the A-Class car to see what we can do for the feature here. But a frustrating problem. If anyone out there has any ideas for us that we haven't tried already, leave it in the comments below. We're kind of scratching our heads at this point. But going out for the feature next, hopefully starting around 14th, I believe. Well, we got caught up with driver introductions, and I forgot to turn the GoPros on. Me and my dad both forgot to turn the GoPros on. Feature race was just kind of okay for us. I ran the top for the first 10 laps or so. It was kind of there, but it was also kind of the marbly, crumbly stuff that I couldn't get a bite in, and it would just wash out to the wall. It wasn't necessarily bad, but I could just tell within those first 10 laps that it was going to end up on the bottom. And we got a yellow about 10 laps in or so, and I went down to the bottom, and I was able to pick off 2 or 3 spots after that. Made my way up to 12th, and ran pretty good on the bottom. I think I could have held 12th for the rest of the race if the battery hadn't started dying. So really unfortunate that that happened. We've got, I think we're going to try and get one of these hot shot rectifiers from Hyper, see if that helps us out some. I really want to figure out the anti-gravity battery just because it saves us so much weight. But like I can't do that if I can't finish races. So we're going to try that rectifier, and hopefully it works out for us. Because we're already 20 pounds, like the other day I scaled, I was 72, so that's 22 pounds overweight right there, which I wouldn't want to shave off 20 pounds, but like an extra 10 pounds would probably make quite a big difference in one of these small cars that, you know, only weighs 750 pounds and only has 120 horse or however much they have. I think 10 pounds would actually be a decent benefit. I tried to keep the car alive even though the battery was going dead, but after I fell back to about 15th, I just decided to pull it to the infield and be done with it. being that far back, I just didn't feel like it was worth it to put any extra abuse on things. And 15th on back, I think paid pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more, but not enough that I felt like it was worth it. But we made the show. I'm really glad that we did. Really kind of relieved that we did after the first 2 nights. Things really went right for us tonight, and I'm just glad we could lock it in the show. I got to give a big thanks to, again, Cole Kirkman for getting our torsion tube fixed up yesterday so we could continue this weekend. Got to give a big thanks to Nathan Benson Motorsports, G-Force Chassis, Sherbill Suspensions, DDI Fabrication, Porter Steel Buildings, Advantech Dyno Service, and AFD Graphics for all of them do to help us out and keep us on the road going to these big events. Thanks to all of you guys for following along with this video. If you're new here and you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe to see future uploads. If you really like this video, be sure to like down below, and if you have anything you want to tell me, any comments, suggestions, something you'd like to see, be sure to leave that in the comments down below as well. I'd really appreciate any feedback. Once again, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you for the next one. So as you guys probably figured, the video that you just saw was filmed all the way back in May of 22, and that was the first time that we've had the anti-gravity batteries back on the car. Before, we were just using one of these basic lead acid batteries. This is a Deka ETX Power Sports battery, 12 volt, I believe. And I just want to show you guys the weight difference between these and why it's such an advantage to be able to run one of these anti-gravity batteries. You can see right here, this is 9 pounds, 8.4 ounces for this Deka lead acid battery. And I mean, that's a pretty nice battery. That works just fine for what we're doing. But anytime you can cut weight down on one of these cars, it's going to help you. So then we've got the anti-gravity battery. Put that on the scale, and that is 1 pound, 11.6 ounces. So saving close to 7 pounds with the anti-gravity battery. It's obviously a no-brainer. I mean, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's an all-around better package. It is a little bit more expensive. I think one of these 8-cell anti-gravity batteries sells for like somewhere like around 170, I think. I don't remember what we paid for this. It's under 100 for sure. So we had the problem with the anti-gravity batteries dying on us. Like I said in the previous clip, I think it wasn't getting a charge. So what we did, we've got a 12 cell in here. That was something that we tried instead of running the 8 cell that I just had over there. We ran a 12 cell in hopes that it would last longer. Still just not quite sure what was going on with it. If I could do it again, I would go back to an 8 cell because that saves like maybe a pound or so. But this rectifier right here is not a stock Yamaha rectifier. This is called a hot shot rectifier, and you can get those on the Hyper website. Now, I had heard of these rectifiers before we put the anti-gravity battery back in it, and I had a suspicion that it just wasn't taking the charge. That's because the rectifier, the stock rectifier, just wasn't regulating the voltage quite as tight as the hot shot rectifier does. So I had heard about these rectifiers, but I didn't know anyone that had tried one. And they're pretty expensive. They're like $170, $180, somewhere around in there. So after we had the problems at US 24 that night, we went ahead and ordered 1 or 2 of them. We've got 2 of them for sure now, 1 on each car. And they solved all of our problems with the anti-gravity battery. So anyone that's having any trouble with the anti-gravity batteries, especially if you're running a Yamaha, I know some of the Suzuki guys haven't had any problems with them, but I think that Suzuki rectifier is maybe a little higher quality than the Yamaha one is. So we just upgraded to that hot shot rectifier. Like I said, you can find it on the Hyper website. I think it's around $170. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. And you can buy them for the lithium ion batteries, or you can buy them for the lead acid batteries. I don't really know why you would want to buy them for the lead acid batteries. But we never had any trouble with the stock rectifier with the lead acid battery. But this lithium ion battery, I believe it's got like some type of smart charge system on it, where if it goes over like say 14.2 amps, it won't charge. So that's where we were having problems, is when it would rev up to like, you know, 16,000 RPM, the stator is actually putting out more amps than the battery will take, and so it just won't take that charge at all, just to save it from frying itself and melting down. So that's what we did. We got the hot shot rectifier, and it fixed all of our problems for the entire rest of the season. I just thought I'd tack that on at the end of this video just to help anyone else out there that may have been having the same issue that we were.